I'm gonna call the roll, and then we will get started. Commissioner Benson. Here. Chris.
Here.
Francisco. Frost.
Here.
Hansford Humphrey.
Present.
Harris. Here. Katz.
Here.
Clepath.
Present.
Lawrence.
Here.
Rice.
Here.
Wells. Nope, no Wells no more. Wilbur.
Here.
Yurkowski.
Here.
All right, full commission, all 12. It's good to see you all. I've been gone for about 2 months.
Okay.
But it's all been good things. I've been graduating from the African American Leadership Academy, so that's where I was in September and October. Thank you. But you'll see me for the rest of the year. Well, we only got 1 more month. You'll see me for sure. Are there any community representatives here tonight? I see Director Sheldon from PAC. It's good to have you. Ms. Dana Dorsey, and yes.
Scott Kaplan, Vice President of Woodland Park Neighborhood
Of
Association.
Woodland Park. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And
Casey Chris, Eastgate Garden Civic Association.
glad to have you here, Mr. Eastgate. Anyone else?
David Coop from Central Community House.
Well, I'm glad to see you, Mr. David. And
I'm representing Otina this evening.
all right, Otina is in the house. Okay. Thank you all for being here. We're gonna move along to the approval of our minutes. Earlier this week on Tuesday, you should have received the minutes from October's general body meeting, November's community engagement committee meeting, November's zoning site visits, as well as October's planning and zoning meeting minutes. Are there any corrections that need to be made to the documents that were sent to you? Any corrections that need to be made? All right, seeing that there are none, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved, Benson.
Second race.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your hand. All right, it's been approved by unanimous consent. Okay.
I'm abstaining. Sorry.
I thought your hand was up. Any opposed? Any abstaining?
Abstaining.
All right, we got 1 abstain. So 11-0-1 or 11-0-1. Yes, there we go. 11-0-1. All right, we have no keynote speakers or guests this month, but next month we will hear from Beatty Recreation Center and Department of Rec and Parks. They'll be coming to talk about the update on Beatty. So please stay tuned for that. Do we have any announcements or public comments from commissioners or members of the Community Engagement Committee? Any announcements?
Otina is hosting a park cleanup this Sunday. There is a sign up genius out, even if you can't come the whole time. They're looking for anybody who can spend a little bit of time, and it looks like it'll be nice weather on Sunday to come clean up. Check the Facebook or the website for details. In addition to that, their holiday hoopla potluck will be on Wednesday, December 10th at 6 p.m. at First Congregational Church on 444 East Broad Street. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional announcements from commissioners or members of the Community Engagement Committee? Any additional?
I do have one.
Yes, go ahead.
Urban Strategies over at Legacy Point started back the Wednesday leadership session for the kids from 4:30 to 6:30, and they're doing co-ed. Remember, they used to just do girls, so they're doing co-ed now, and ages are 11 through 17.
Right. I'm glad they're doing co-ed now. It's a little bit easier that way.
I know, right? And we had 15 kids yesterday.
Oh, good. Good. Any additional announcements?
I'll say in Eastgate, we're approaching this Eastgate Elementary about putting a blessings box on or whatever you would call it, the free pantry on the school property. And if anybody has expertise in building one of those things and wants to reach out to me, let me know.
How do they reach out to you?
You can reach out to me at this meeting or caseychris74@gmail.com.
There we go. I just want to make sure our lives able to capture that. All right, caseychris74@gmail.com. Wonderful. And I guess I have an announcement on Monday, this upcoming Monday. I'll make sure to forward this to you all. 5 to 7:30 at Co-Ed, 1890 East Main Street. Link Us will have a pop-up session where you can learn how the East Main Bus Rapid Transit Project will improve transportation access and opportunities in our neighborhood while connecting with the community and enjoying food provided by Slappin' Wings and B&K Smokehouse. So that's this upcoming Monday from 5 to 7:30 at 1890 East Main Street, just to learn a little bit more about Link Us. And I guess they'll be doing a series of pop-up sessions hosted by East Main Street businesses. Okay. Given that there are no more announcements from us, Mr. Dovell, he's not here. Mr. Ovalle, do you have any announcements?
In reference to Sophia with the Department of Neighborhoods. Just wanted to say that I did send out my newsletter regarding information regarding Thanksgiving meals and stuff like that for community members. So please help distribute that. I would really appreciate that. As well as I want to thank Dr. Harris and Commissioner Clayfax for attending last night's community conversation with the mayor. I think it was a good conversation. There were some great questions. Commissioner Clayfax, great questions. And we're definitely going to follow about that, right? Providing that support as well. And it's very important for residents and our community leaders to voice their concerns as zoning and things like that move forward. So thank you both for being there. There is one more training for area commissioners, and it's the planning training that we had multiple times. If you haven't attended, I guess that's the one that's limited to capacity just because of the computers that they use. So I think that's in December. As soon as that information comes out, I'll send it over to you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you, yes.
Can I real quick just recognize Mr. Avaye for being the celebrity judge at the inaugural Eastgate Garden Civic Association chili cook-off?
Yeah, that's free food. There you go. Yeah. Was the chili good? There it is. There it is. Well, thank you, Mr. Ovalle, and we'll make sure to distribute. By raising hands, who has not completed a planning training? Okay. Well, you are about to.
I still haven't completed.
Oh, okay.
Didn't I do that or no?
Did you go to the Mayor Coleman building?
No.
Okay. I would encourage you, for those that have not done it, to take the training. It's very, very helpful, especially learning BZA and things like that. And it's how basically it's how the system and processes work and whatnot. Great session. It really breaks down the softwares and whatnot, and how to look up projects, things like that. So when he does send it out, if you are available, please do try to take it. They do it a couple of times a year, but try to get to the December one. That'd be fantastic. Fantastic. Awesome. Okay. Are there any announcements from or public comments from the body? Acknowledging Mr. Willis Brown, President of Bronzeville Neighborhood Association.
Thank you, NEAC commissioners and Dr. Harris. Just want to make an announcement for everyone next Thursday at 6 o'clock. There will be a meeting at the old neighborhood house / empowerment zone with the contractor who's going to deconstruct the towers. So if you're free, please attend, because it's a different type of demolition And there's gonna be a lot of questions of how that's gonna affect, you make sure they have the asbestos out of it. He's gonna go through that whole process of how those two buildings are going to be, not demolished, but deconstructed, so as to minimize the impact to the adjacent, residents and so forth. But they're going to explain that next, Thursday at 6 o'clock.
And make it clear.
So you can come, please attend.
Oh, sorry, what was the location?
And the address is 1002 Atkinson.
Yeah.
Atkinson Street.
The completion, they know all about that, because depending on, they're still waiting to get their, title from the city. So when that happens, that's why they've been delayed with the deconstruction. So, but it's gonna be a year, they said, to deconstruct the building, and then after that, the building. So a couple of years.
Sounds good. Yeah. Point of clarification for anyone listening at home, that would be the Sawyer Towers. Sometimes the audio can be hard to hear, and I know he said towers.
Thank you.
Any other announcements from, or public comments from, members of the community? Yes. Uh-huh.
I got into the announcement vibe.
Yeah.
On next Tuesday, November 18th, there will be another meeting about the future of the Mount Vernon Plaza. It'll be at the Culture Lab on Mount Vernon Avenue, and this one is hosted by the Maroon Arts Group and the Central Ohio African American.
Right. At what time?
At 5 o'clock, 5 to 7.
Thank you. Any other comments or? Yes. Yeah.
Just for anyone watching at home or any folks in the crowd, you can also submit any other events that are happening if you are aware or become aware later on the website, so that we can share with any other people in the community who are checking out our website. That is also a really helpful way to share that information. But feel free to come in, tell us, we'll share this out. Thank you.
Okay, moving on in the agenda. We'll now go with Commissioner Rice for the planning committee's report.
Next Thursday, we have 3 properties on the agenda. One is, let me put my glasses on, 532, North Nelson Road. And then they're coming back, after a 3-month hiatus. And then we have, it looks like 506 Miller Street, which is, splitting a lot into, 3 parcels, building 2 duplexes and commercial space, and then there was a demolition application for Henry Street.
All right, anything else?
No.
All right. So that concludes the report?
Yes.
All right. Now we'll move over to zoning, chaired by Commissioner Lawrence.
Good evening. We have 2 cases on the agenda tonight. The first one is 1107 East Mound Street. So if that applicant would come up to the table, do we have their information digitally?
Oh,
Well, you can pull it up on the agenda.
oh, yes,
Absolutely.
We must ask them, right?
We'll show them one other thing.
Do we have the information digitally?
Yes, I'm about to put it on the screen. Oh, yeah, we can share. Thanks so much. Yeah.
They're like floor plans of the.
So that we do.
Oh, there are some. Which ones they are.
Were they sent to the email?
Yeah, this is all right.
Oh, they were? Okay, then I can find it. No, if you give me a second, leave that up, I will find it for you real quick.
We can stop.
Yeah, they can go.
You can go. That's all we have.
All right, so, you've got 3 minutes. Tell us what you're planning to do. There is a site plan that's been handed out. So give us a description of what you're planning to do. Keep in mind, some of the people here are neither on the planning nor zoning committee, and so they haven't heard anything about this yet. So we just had our site visit meeting and all, but you're gonna have to go back over the same territory, at least in summary, and explain how you're gonna reuse the building and what you're gonna do there.
So, at 1107 East Mount Street, we're opening a daycare center / community center. So the daycare center is upstairs, which hosts 5 classrooms. Downstairs is, after-school program, day camp. Saturdays is open community to the community kids, that's not a part of the daycare, where they can come in and get free lunch, do activities, things of that nature. On Sundays, we have a warming kitchen for the homeless where they can come in and eat and take showers. So, that's pretty much what, we got this building to do for the community around there. And we had a fall festival, that turned out to be amazing, and the community actually really turned out and told us how much they need this over in their area. So that's what we plan to do with this building.
Okay, so the building, as shown on the Google Street View, is church that's been closed for a long time. Okay? And they're gonna use that church building. It's an adaptive reuse, okay, of the church building. And, things came clearer, when we had our site visit meeting, because we were able to understand better how the property was gonna be used. It was a little confusing because if you, they have the lot east, that one that you're seeing, the vacant lot there, they have that lot, and it goes back to the alley south of Mound Street. Okay, at first we weren't sure what was the property, but by having that access down there, as shown on the revised site plan that we have today, they can put parking off the alley for people, and there's also street parking on both Champion and Mound Street. So given that it is a proposal to do a daycare center for up to 60 children, 60, that's a pretty good sized center. And so the, committee, at the planning and zoning meeting, we had a bunch of questions about, well, where are people gonna drop off their kids? Where can they park if they need to walk them? Where's the entrance to the building? Where's that playground gonna go? And all of that sort of thing. And we were able to pretty well work that out with the applicant at the site visit meeting, which resulted in a 4-0 favorable vote by the zoning committee last Saturday. I'll just say this again, because I said it before, it's like daycare centers are licensed by the state, and we're not substituting our judgment for what an appropriate daycare space is. The state's still gonna have to follow through on licensure. So issues about room size and that kind of thing are not our concern. It's simply, what's the use of the building? And they're talking about a daycare center, but they're also talking about a community center that would house, not house, but would be a facility for people without a place to go for showers and food in the neighborhood. So that's my best understanding of what they're doing, and we were supportive of that given the level of need. Does anyone on the commission wish to ask any questions of the applicant?
I don't wish to ask any questions, but I do have a comment.
What's that?
I took my grandkids to that fall festival, and for me, I was very impressed because there was so many people there for it to be their first one. So, I think it's a good thing, and I just wanted to.
Great
throw my 2
feedback,
cents
thank
in.
you. Anyone else on the commission have anything they want to add? Anyone in the community wish to speak to this case? Seeing no one, will entertain a motion to approve.
Approve.
Second, Benson.
All in favor? It's
Gotta be faster
unanimous,
than that.
Paula. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
All
coming.
right, so here's how this works. There's a recommendation form that the chair is gonna sign for you. Now, you don't just take this home and put it somewhere. You have to send this to your planner. Whoever you're working with at the city on your zoning application, you need to send this to them, email it to them, scan it to them, right? And you also need to copy us because, so that we know that it went, because sometimes people forget to do this and then people are coming after us. Where's your recommendation form? So we just want to make sure it got done.
Okay. I can
Okay,
take
do you
it in
know
person.
who your planner is? Okay, great. So email it, the signed form back to them and copy one of us.
CC you in it.
It could be me, could be chair. I don't care.
She did ask a question.
I'm sorry.
Could you take it in person as well?
Could you take it down there in person? Of course you could.
Okay.
But again, we need to know that it got delivered somehow.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
There you go. You're done with us. How about that?
Thank you so much.
All right. While they're getting out, the second case, 440 Taylor Avenue. Who in the, for the community wishes to speak to this matter? Is there more people who wish to speak? All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I thought there might be more. Put your name down on this, please, and we'll call you in the order that you for community input.
There.
Sure is.
Yes.
Given the nature of my employment at Enterprise Housing Credit Investments, I'm gonna have to recuse myself from this, just in my capacity as an underwriter. We have a relationship with On Board and.
Are you
I'm dealing
involved
them
with
regularly,
this
so.
particular case?
It doesn't matter. It
You
doesn't
don't
matter.
think so?
Conflict of interest is very important, not only just on the public body, but given that it involves my employment as well. I'm gonna fully recuse myself from this discussion. So I'm gonna leave the room, and then when the discussion's over, Mr. Ovalle will let me know.
All right, thanks.
I just wanna let you know.
Thank you.
You're like, where did you get your teeth go, man?
Yeah. Thanks,
Commissioner
Commissioner
Wilbur.
Wilbur.
Is that done?
Slap it.
Okay, thank you. That's it? All right. Thank you very much. All right, why don't the applicant come up to the table? And you've got 3 minutes. I'm gonna give you an extra minute or more, I guess. I mean, it's a somewhat complicated project. So we'll give you an extra minute. Keep in mind that when there are questions, you'll have an opportunity to answer them. So set the.
Sure. Dr. Benson, I prepared, I gave you the slides. Those are longer than 4 minutes of talking, so maybe I won't go to the slides right now and just give a summary. Hi, my name's Aaron Wasserman. I work for Homeport, which is the applicant.
Sheldon Johnson, the executive director of PAC, who are the property owners.
And so 440 Taylor Avenue is what was formerly known as, or still known as, the Pilgrim Elementary School, which has been closed for about 20 years. And Sheldon Johnson, in his role leading PACT, held an RFP process through 2024 and part of this year, earlier in the year, to redevelop several properties that PACT owns, including this property. Homeport presented publicly about our proposal at the time, and PACT selected Homeport's proposal to redevelop the property. We are trying to propose something that's going to revitalize or reuse the school building, create a range of housing types, in terms of like sizes, shapes, and also the populations we're targeting in terms of affordable housing and market rate housing. We're also proposing 3 smaller commercial spaces in the school building, and reusing the gymnasium as a community space in the school building. In summary, we're proposing 87 apartments
23 of them would be within the school building, and 64 would be built, behind the school building with parking on the property. Homeport is a nonprofit developer in Columbus and Franklin County, and generally throughout Central Ohio. We generally develop what's broadly called affordable housing, both homes to rent and also homes that are sold. It's been some time since we've been before this particular area commission. We work all throughout the city, like I mentioned. We've been in front of the Woodland Park Neighborhood Association twice. We've been at the planning and zoning committees of the commission as well over the past month. We know we need to keep working with the Woodland Park Neighborhood Association. I think there's, been some displeasure about some of the details or, even broader strokes of our proposal. We're comfortable if you feel like you need to table this vote tonight to continue, for Homeport as the applicant, to continue working with the neighborhood association. We've made several changes to the site design from when we first submitted a zoning application. We submitted a zoning application that was, essentially what we submitted as well to PACT as part of the community process for selecting this proposal. Since then, we've made some pretty substantial revisions, I think, in terms of adding more open space to the site. That's both for public use and private use. We have shrunk the project in terms of its density or number of apartments. We have also shrunk the size of individual buildings to create, I think, hopefully a better pedestrian experience, creating more like through lines throughout the property. We had probably most prominently, and we've had this from the start, is sort of a walkway, a pedestrian connection, rebuilding what I think used to be Pembroke Avenue across the site, but sometime when the school was built, that street, I think, was closed. Dr. Benson's been sort of scrolling through our slides as I've been talking. Thank you for doing that. Really appreciate it. I probably used the 4 minutes here to pause there.
45 seconds. Yeah, 45 seconds.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Again, so I'll keep going. You're just looking at our elevations. Again, we're trying to complement the, more solid mass of the school building with pitched roofs, something more akin to the roof style, the massing of buildings around the, on the streets. Taylor Avenue, I think it's a busier corridor. There are a lot of mixed uses on the corridor where, so that's where we have our bigger proposed building as part of the new construction. We have smaller buildings throughout the site, throughout the other parts of the site. We're here, we submitted a council variance for the use of the property, for multifamily residential and the mix of uses, also for parking, as part of leading up to an application for public financing that is what's used to create affordable housing.
Thank you. All right. I guess I would just say, just reviewing the history of this, going through here, when they came to our planning and zoning meeting, planning voted at 2-2, so it was a tie.
May I add some context to that?
Sure.
Okay. Sharif Benson, co-chair of planning. I just want to add context for anyone who was not there. I think some clarification is definitely needed. And I'd love to also, after we are done, make sure that the community gets plenty of time to be heard, because they brought a lot of context and information that was really helpful, because I don't represent the entire neighborhood. I think they do a much better job of doing that than me. But I will give you a summary of what some of my feelings were, and maybe some of the other folks that voted alongside of me that may need some clarification. I can't speak for them, but I believe that there was an idea that we did not want to stall the movement of this project due to concerns around the financing. I think planning as a whole is supportive of mixed-use housing, of development in the neighborhood, and also the plan as a whole in terms of the commercial space and the housing space. I think there were some concerns from the neighbors and the neighborhood about the exact design and layout of that. So that is a nuanced conversation that should be had, but I think it's really important to separate the fact that they also, I don't believe, were against the development itself, but they can speak to that themselves. And I think we should make sure that there's space to have that conversation, maybe not entirely tonight, but there was a vote that was had 2-2 in favor of the project. I think, or sorry, 2-2 yes, it was a tie in opposition, 2 in favor, 2 in opposition. I was one of the folks that voted in favor. I think I want to clarify that I wanted to move the vote forward, but there was some confusion about whether or not I was in favor on the exact details of the development. I was not. I was in favor of the ideals of the development, as I believe the neighborhood and the neighbors were. But I don't know the design that was put forward in front of us was favorable to all parties on our side. Just wanted to clarify
All right, anyone else on the commission wish to speak at this time? Commissioner Cleveland?
Yeah, I would like to respond to your comment. As a body, we are charged to vote based on the proposal in front of us and how it works within the variances that are being requested for the project. And what you just kind of stated muddies that charge. And we need to understand that as a commission, like, that is what we are charged to do. Thank you.
Anyone else on the commission wish to speak at this time?
I think Chair, I think from the planning perspective, which is, I sit on planning. And we too have to abide by what is in front of us, what is on the paper. I probably was a person who voted against it, not because I'm opposed to there being this on this space. I think I voted against it, and looking at it now, I'm probably pretty sure I did, because I don't see pilgrimages. And I felt like it lost the historicity of the site. I don't think that we can push back or even try to push back density. I think that train is gone. But from a planning perspective, we don't have to operate with the precision perhaps that zoning does, because you have a direct charge. We're looking at the overall vibe of the project. And that is what I think those of us who voted against it were reacting to or responding to. But so we are coming at it from two different places. And like my colleague, I would really prefer to hear some of what happened on Monday, or the discussion from Monday, and where we are in that space.
I'm sure we will. Anyone else on the commission wish to comment at this time? I just want to say one more thing before we call the community representatives, which is sort of it's an interesting point. You know, most of us are probably aware that the city of Columbus is planning a second phase of zoning changes in the city. And the first one was called Zone In. I don't know that this one has a name, but it's the second phase. And there's a map, proposed map that's been released that some of us have been looking at. This site, they're proposing, you know, aside from what Homeport, totally unrelated to what Homeport is proposing to do, the city has this site on their map to be changed to a much higher density, MU2, which would allow potentially a 7-story building at this location. Now, it's not law yet, but they are planning to vote in December. I'm just pointing that out from what I read. So it does potentially color how people might want to look at this, because if nothing were to happen and the city went ahead with their plan, what Homeport's proposing to do probably is allowed as a matter of right. So I'm just pointing that out. Anyway, at this time, we'll call the 3 community representatives. You get 3 minutes, and the applicant will get a minute or so to respond to anything if need be, if there are questions raised. Joe Weingart.
Okay, thank you, Chair. First, I want to discuss one thing that I did not get to bring up in Monday's meeting is, and since it's the most important to me, I used to work at one of your, I used to manage 2 of your properties that were owned by you, managed by Wallach. I have very, very strong concerns for safety because of the 2 properties I managed for you and Wallach. There was a lot of gunfire, a lot of domestic issues, and I was personally assaulted by one of the residents that Homeport nor the management company did anything about. Then I want to discuss the historic decorative features that need to be restored on Pilgrim. And then, not enough parking spaces. And I know this is still early in the game, but do you know how, or do you know who is going to manage it yet?
Are you done with your
I'm done
comments
with my
and
questions. Thank you,
Okay,
Chair.
great. I only ask you that because when you're done, they answer you, and then we go on to the next speaker. All right, thank you. You get
Sure.
a minute to respond to anything there?
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks. I don't know the details about the situation you were describing at the start. Sorry to hear about that. Got to talk about Homeport's, management of properties and other details as people are interested. I'm sorry that you experienced that. Yes, we're planning to apply for historic tax credits as part of the financing of the development. That comes with a lot of architectural attention to detail and regulation. So yes, we would be planning to, preserve the, architectural elements that you see, ornamental elements that you see on the building. In terms of parking, we proposed a ratio of about slightly more than one space per housing unit. We track use of parking at our properties. We think that is appropriate for the, in terms of a ratio that we're proposing here. Again, we are proposing units that are restricted to households that are generally, working class families, or people who are more vulnerable. Usually one car per household is the typical ownership rate. My bell went off, so I'm sorry. I think I missed one
You did all
or
right.
two questions.
The second speaker is Scott Kaplan, 3 minutes.
Hi, thank you very much for your time. My name is Scott Kaplan. I am the Vice President of the Woodland Park Neighborhood Association. I only have 3 of these. I think I'll begin by describing that the Woodland Park Neighborhood Association had a unanimous vote on our Monday meeting rejecting the plan that's been described here. We have a feeling that some of the things that were said are correct. I think that we would be in favor of supporting revitalization of the Pilgrim building itself and keeping some of the things that were described intact. But the type and shape of development that takes place on the grounds around it is an issue of great concern to us. We feel like the way that this project has been approached is a textbook example of dictating from the top. Developers who are coming from Dublin and New Albany are coming into our neighborhood and telling us what they're going to do. The previous plan was a wall off and parking lot filled version of every square inch of that space. Setbacks that were 5 feet, which is already proved in a neighboring property to be just horribly inappropriate and to the building's own detriment. There's only 50% occupancy of that. We have green space that generations of people have used at this site. And that is being taken away from the community and privatized. You can see even in the last thing, they built a tiny little pocket, which is smaller than a basketball court that they're offering as a community space. And then behind their walls, they have now provided some green space seemingly exclusively to their tenants. We have issues with this. We feel like this is not neighborhood facing. It's not community development. What had happened previously is we had organized a petition with more than 50 names on it. We submitted it to PAC describing what we would like, some preservation of green space. What came about in our Monday meeting was that PAC had made Homeport aware of the concerns of the community. What Homeport described in that meeting was that they had not changed the plan since August of 2024, regardless of the communication and information that was provided about neighborhood concerns. The only thing that changed it was this commission. Thank goodness, speaking up in support of things like the children that are going to be living in the place and where are they going to play. The second tier of modifications came when they realized that they had an 8-inch sewer pipe that forced them to redevelop somewhat of the site. The third or below consideration was community input and community impact. I am going to be living in this site with my son for the next 30 years. They are not going to be looking at this site 1 minute after they complete it. It needs to be something that is reflective of the community. It needs to be integrated into the community, it needs to support the community just the way the Pilgrim School had traditionally supported the community. It doesn't feel like they are concerned with community. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. Do you wanna take a minute to, it doesn't sound like there were really any questions there. If you felt there was anything seriously inaccurate that you wish to comment on or
I don't know
whatever.
if I'd say seriously inaccurate, but one, just for clarification, and as Scott mentioned, we had some conversation around the concern around the green space. The ask at that specific time, because it was before PACTA made a decision, was to set aside a certain amount of the green space and require anyone that we selected to keep that as green space. I told Scott this in a private conversation, and I spoke to the Woodland Park Neighborhood Association and told them that we weren't gonna make that specific requirement because I had concerns around the capacity needed to get a low-income housing tax credit property. But that was the response to that specific question. It was never around, whether there should be green space or what have you. And, I think that there this process took longer than we anticipated, and that's not Homeport's fault. I asked them to not come earlier to talk to Woodland Park or NEAC because we hadn't come to, specific terms. So, I mean, Aaron, you can speak to, the other feedback there, but I just want to provide that as clarification.
Is there anything critical you need to add here?
The bell rang, that's fine. Yeah.
It's all right. We
will-
can be a
oh,
little
okay,
bit flexible if there's something critical that needs to be said.
Yeah, sure. Again, I guess maybe I just found that, again, like I said, at the start, first, we're willing to keep working with the Woodland Park Association, and the commission wants to table or continue this hearing. I'm fine with that, on behalf of Homeport. Again, trying to find reasonable compromise. And second, again, we are local folks, we're local staff, so the idea that I or my colleagues would never see this again or drive away or, those sorts of things I generally disagree with, but, yeah.
All right.
Chair, I have a question.
Yeah.
I guess I have a question to ask, you wanted to, but.
Should we have the third community speaker go?
Oh, my bad, I thought that was just two.
There's one more, maybe we do that.
Yeah, please. I thought we were
Okay,
done.
we're gonna come back to you.
Yeah.
Can I just clarify, the thing that I handed out, sorry, was the thing that the neighborhood people had talked about as an alternative. That's what that piece of paper was.
I understand that. Robert Ferris, the third speaker.
I'd like to say that, well, my wife and I have been members of this community for well over 50 years. My wife has been a lifetime member of the community. And the way I view this project is that I know something has to be done there. I mean, that stands to reason. But I feel that we're overpopulating that particular property. 87 units in there. Sounds good for 87 people. Do you think there's going to be children? Do you think that there's going to be a spouse? So you could double that or triple that. Right now, my property sits directly across the street on the north side of the building. And there's already an issue with parking. I look at the Pilgrim, I'll be looking at Pilgrim, so that's a 2-story building. Anybody else on the other side of the building is looking at a 3-story building. So I feel that it's being overpopulated. I feel that there's going to be congestion with parking. 1 car per person, that's fine. Most families, I think, have at least 1.5, 2 cars per person. So, your parking is going to be an issue. And that's my whole concern about the property, that it's not going to blend, I don't feel, with the community, because there aren't any houses along there that are 3 stories high. So it doesn't blend with it. And I guess that's my view. And the other thing, a sidebar to this, is that I feel that the commissioner is now saying, we got to take this property because you're going to build a 7-story building. That's somewhat intimidating to me, that that take this or you don't know what you're going to get next. we may get a developer that just wants to build single homes next. I don't know. It's probably not as profitable as building 87 units, I'm sure of that. But those are my comments, and I appreciate your time tonight.
Mr. Ferris, I would just say, by making that comment, I was not trying to be intimidating. I was just trying to let folks know that that's public information that's out there currently about potential future plans for the site, aside from this. I just thought that should be noted.
Commissioner, is the feedback open still? Are they still requesting feedback?
Who?
Zonin for.
Oh, yeah.
So Zonin has a website, phase 2, this is the phase 2 of Zonin. They're soliciting community feedback on individual parcels. If you go onto the website, you can click on the parcel and tell them that you don't think that a 7-story building is appropriate for the site. So I guess maybe to phrase the comment is, this is another opportunity for community members to provide feedback to the city specific to this.
It's holding there. It was used for. So anyone says that, if that passes.
You gotta get to the right parcel here. Okay. I'm in the wrong. That beige patch over there for anyone along Taylor. There you go, right where the cursor is. That's the school property.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Is that something?
MU2.
Let's see. Yes.
MU2 would allow up to 7. I wasn't making this up. I just thought folks in the neighborhood should be aware of it. I know it. Juxtaposing that statement against the proposal, I wasn't trying to intimidate, but I thought, no.
I think it is our jobs.
Yeah, that's the way I saw it anyway. All right, I guess we're done with community comments. Back to the commission. If folks have, Chair, there was something you wanted to say.
Yes, so you brought up tabling a lot. You probably the only developer I've heard host tabling. But if this were to be tabled tonight, what exactly would be your plan on, I guess, re-engaging Woodland Park, and then if it's proposing a new site plan, what would be your next steps if you were to table tonight?
Sure. So we left, the meeting with the neighborhood association on Monday with, I think, the commitment to keep talking, about, trying to find compromise about the design. So I assume we would, I guess, Kaplan also gave me the site plan that just passed out to you folks as sort of a counter idea. So I expect, I and, the rest of our team working on the project, would go back to the neighborhood association's meeting in December, or, as they schedule it, and, have hopefully one or more meetings, to try to come up with another revision that satisfies folks more, and then come back to the commission after that.
I would just say, we've had cases in the past where the Civic Association had not had an opportunity to vote yet on a project, and we've opted to table until that happens. In this case, the Civic has already voted. So the only reason for tabling would be if the applicant asked for the matter to be tabled, because otherwise it's properly before us for a vote tonight. So I guess you indicated, Mr. Washburn, that you would be you intend to talk to them further, but that's not the same thing as saying you're asking the case to be tabled.
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah. I'll be more affirmative then. Say I'm fine tabling it for,
Do you want to table it?
Yes.
He said he's willing.
Well, okay, I just.
Yeah, sure. I guess I phrased it first, willing to table in case the commission want, saw it differently. I'm okay taking some more time to work with the neighbor association.
Mr. Rice?
I just wanted to understand whether you're under any timeline to get this through city council, because that tabling is an issue of time for you. So, for me to vote, I'd like to know if there are some timeline constraints you're given.
No. Yeah, so I mean, at first when we came here, not, so, again, when Homeport develops with, affordable housing, we use a mix of public and private financing. Those public, the public financing has defined applications that happen usually 2 or 3 times per year. The next one is coming up in February 2026, to the State Housing Agency. Zoning approvals are required to submit that application. If this application for financing had to wait another application round, I am okay with that.
Question, Chair? Sure. I find it prudent to also ask the neighborhood association if they would like to continue the conversations. My feeling is they would, but I'm not gonna speak for them. So I just need the question.
I appreciate, the consideration. I think, we could frame it as we would like to continue, or we would frame it as we would like to begin conversations. So now we have been presented things, period. A conversation would be appreciated.
I'm gonna make a comment that I feel like both parties, both the applicant and neighborhood association, seem like they would like to continue conversations. I think whatever decision we make should be what allows the most conversation to continue.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
We're gonna make a motion.
Yeah, sure will.
That's unusual.
Yeah, no. I'd like to make a motion to table this discussion, for Homeport to come back, for us, I guess next month, when they're ready. So I'd like to make a motion to table, Homeport to come back when they're ready. All right, second.
All right.
I did want to ask 2 questions about discussion.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Motion on the floor.
Well, the motion on the floor, are your comments relevant to the motion, or?
No, they're not, but I don't, if the motion is going to have a whole conversation, I would like to ask my questions.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
What's that?
You, in the description of your plan, you mentioned a couple retail spaces or commercial spaces. Are these available only to residents of this property or?
No, sorry, I guess in the brief time here, I didn't have the chance to show you where that is, but.
I don't even know where it is, I just wanna know if it's like accessible to all public.
Yeah, so yeah, that is on the first floor of the school building, we've designed about 5,000 square feet of commercial space, that, could be neighborhood office, neighborhood retail, any range of uses that would be for the public at large, just like any business.
Got it. And the gymnasium community space, is that exclusive to residents?
No, I mean, it would mostly be for residents in terms of how it's accessed and used, but I think we would, figure out logistically how to make it available by reservation for, the groups or something to use.
Just thanks.
Is that it? Okay, thank you very much. All right, the motion is on the table to table. I guess we're ready for a vote on that. All in favor? All right, I don't know. Okay. Are you voting to? All right, it's unanimous. It's unanimous. So we have tabled this matter till next month, or the latter of next month, or you telling us to want to put it back on the agenda. So if you do wish to do that, it'll come straight back to this body at the December meeting, but let us know ahead.
Yeah.
So the agenda can be set up, whether you want to put it back on the agenda.
So please tell either Chair Harris or myself, because I'm the person who does the agenda.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate everyone's input. That's it for the zoning agenda, except.
Thank you all very much for being heard. I appreciate it.
Except I would mention that the commission is going to make some recommendations to the city on that land use plan, including areas that they are proposing to change rather drastically in terms of what can be built, and some places where maybe they've overlooked. And so I just wanted folks to know that we're working on that. Currently, we're going to get a letter out to the city.
So if you have comments, let us know.
Next couple of days about this. So thank you. That's it for zoning.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now we'll move forward with our community engagement. That's led by Madam Vice Chair, Francis. somebody that Wilbur knows.
Shady Lucas. Shady Lucas.
Okay, so the December community engagement meeting.
Sorry.
You're right. The December community engagement meeting will take place on Thursday, December 4th. So this meeting will be a little different from our meetings, earlier this year. We will not have a speaker. Instead, we will be doing some planning for 2026. So open to any ideas that people have in regards to who they would like to see come speak at the community engagement meetings in 2026. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the year.
There are no special committee reports, so we'll move forward. Treasurer's report, Mr. Lowenstein. Treasurer's report, yes.
We up to treasurer? There's no change in the treasurer's report from last month. Mr. Avaya provided our statement. As you know, we get $2,500 for a year. That year runs May 1 to April 30th. We have spent $592.27, but nothing since well, we have a credit card. We had a fee of $12 back in August, but really we haven't had any expenditures. We still have $1,907.73, for which we need a plan between now and April. So I again point out, if community engagement or any other commissioner or committee has an idea of something they would like to spend money on to advance the mission of the organization, we need to bring that up and get it discussed. That's the end of the treasurer's report.
We can discuss that now or later.
We sure could.
Well, I know we had discussed before about, having water, some trail centers. So maybe allot about $400 for that.
For what now? For snacks?
For meeting,
Meeting snack.
Meeting snacks.
Adriaticos, University Area Commission, they feed their people pizza every.
From local business.
From local businesses.
Oh, that's great.
All right, well, I think there's nothing wrong with, I don't agree with the idea. The amount to be, is there a problem with the idea, Mr. O'Brien?
We can buy food.
But there is, you are allowed to buy food, but there is a longer process for that. So you have a paper that I'll run it with Dr. Harris that is allowed. But there's another process that we need to do with paperwork and things like that. It's not just using the card right away, but I'll work with Dr. Harris to get that if the commission doesn't do it.
I don't know whether $400 is, it's too much, not enough, whatever, but.
Get us a proposed budget of the things you'd like to buy, not sure how much it costs.
Oh, it's really water and trail
Oh,
mix.
that's $100 max.
For the year?
For the year. We got Costco door.
No, don't get the no name ring.
Yes,
$2 snack.
I would like to suggest that we get a generic nearest air conditioned business card that we can hand out to people. Because when I talk to people, I have nothing to give them other than, rattle off my name and maybe my email address, and if they're lucky, they can copy it. I would like to have something small that I can hand them that identifies me and I can write my name in.
So we printed a whole bunch of those.
I have the flyers, I've been handing them out.
We printed.
We actually have business cards.
I've got like a stack at home.
So
We have a big stack of
the
them.
office and I
And
have
what you have to do is write your name, because we did it as a generic card.
At the end of the meeting.
There you go.
Yes, thank you.
We already spent that money.
We're out there.
I know, more money.
Printing or one of the business cards, the city, Department of Neighborhood said we are allowed, area commissions to use the city print shop. for business cards, so instead of having it coming out of your expense or out of your budget for business cards, we could go through the city print shop for that. So we do have some, I'll grab them right now from my office, but we can, you know, put forward another whatnot, I'll work with whoever created the design and we'll come to the best.
Well, we probably need new ones with the new, website.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, that could be. I never did.
Commissioner Gosley?
Because we talked about it at last week's community engagement meeting, some sort of, I think this might be outside of the current budget, but like just for planning purposes, going to share with the group. We discussed some sort of like digital sign outside of this building potentially as a way to share all of the different wonderful organization meetings, events, stuff that we are able to post online that we have been posting online, but that is available to people who don't use social media, don't use the internet otherwise, maybe do not have cell phones or whatever, just to see.
Commissioner, I missed something there. This sign that you would put out, it's a digital sign, so it could have different messages depending on what's going on, letting people know what is gonna happen here in this building or for the commission generally.
Well, yes, that let people know what is happening with the commission as far as meetings, upcoming events, but also broadly, like any Near East area events hosted by different organizations.
And this would be like a permanent sign in the ground here?
To be honest, I've not really like workshopped it that much.
Okay.
But it was something we discussed.
And the city
that we
will
were.
be, a digital billboard like in New York.
That people, we were enthusiastic about.
Okay, I would like, okay, there's a couple good ideas here, but they require a little more like work. I think maybe you've taken enough time for this meeting, I think maybe we're gonna need a meeting to discuss some of these financial expenditure ideas further, separate from tonight.
And truly, maybe our funds are not the best funds, but I did say I would bring it up tonight.
No, it's an interesting idea, I mean, so, could the chair or vice chair arrange for an ad hoc committee to meet once? I mean, or to be done as an executive committee meeting in December?
We will have an executive committee meeting in December, but we're also planning to have a retreat in January with all of our new commissioners. So
Well, it seems to me like, if we talk this through in December and had a plan, it could be presented to the whole group in January. And, you know, I think that the issue with the food, that's something to be acted on more quickly, probably implemented pretty well right away. Which we'll probably need to do for the retreat in any case. We'll end up spending money for the retreat, so that'll need to be budgeted as well. But I do think maybe having a meeting in whatever format in December on this matter would allow things to move ahead more quickly. Does that seem fair? So,
so.
People always accept that, if we were talking about spending money on signs, like, I'm sorry, I just had to say something. And we've got trans youth that are losing their homes and housing. We've got community members that can't put food on their table. And we're gonna spend our money on the sign. I mean, the sign would be meant to convey messages about different resources in the community.
That's fine. I just wanted to put that out there.
very much.
It feels really out of touch and I just had to say something.
I appreciate the feedback.
All right, so what I'll do is for all of the suggested expenditures, if you could, take some time to email, what you think you'd like to spend money on, and then we can then plan a separate meeting based on email responses. That is sufficient of people's time. Okay.
Great.
let's move on.
All right, so some old business, districts 1, 2, and 3 all had district meetings, in the month of October. Yes, so does each district just wanna give like a brief rundown on how, you all thought that the meetings, went? That's our District 1.
Yes, so, District One had a big table event at the Broad Street Presbyterian Church. There were about 5 people who attended, and we had a wide-ranging discussion of issues in District One. And I think the takeaway for some of us is that we need to have maybe a quarterly or every 6-month update for District One residents about what's going on in the area commission in regard to what's happening in District One.
Thank you, Commissioner Rice. District 2 like to share, how you all's, financially.
Yeah, we did a financial empowerment, I had a speaker from, Financial Empowerment Center. I thought it was a really good talk, there weren't very many people there. There were no other representatives from the New York State Area Commission, which I was pretty disappointed in. So, but I thought it was good, and I think I just emailed, the chair for community engagement to maybe have that speaker at their meeting next year. It's financial literacy counseling, financial counseling open to any adult in Columbus. And it's through, Jewish Family Services, through a Columbus funded program. But the guy is very knowledgeable, and I thought the most impressive thing was that they meet you where you are, so they're not prescriptive, they are, you know. I thought he said something interesting. He said, there are ways to teach you how to buy a house, but they are there to teach you how to buy your house. So, catchy phrase. I love catchy phrase.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chris, for, hosting that meeting. I was out of town, but, if I was in town, I would definitely been there.
Look at me.
Nah. I want to turn my head. I want to turn my head.
You know, they say field meetings.
I'm sorry, it was the day after the election. I am really sorry. Oh my God, I have a job and I so, great.
I have a job too.
I wasn't there though, and I could not be sorry.
Well, and
No. Grace is given. I'd give it, but take this.
And District 3, would you all like to share how your meeting last month?
Yes.
You're like very hard.
You did a great job. Yeah, so we partnered with the Columbus Foundation, has a program about getting to know your neighbors. And we had, similar to some of the other conversations, kind of neighbors coming together and having conversations with the whole goal of community building. One thing that I thought was interesting that I want to share is because we partnered with the Columbus Foundation, they gave us door hangers that we were able to go out and put on people's doors. And we had people show up that would not have showed up had they not gotten a door hanger. So as we're looking at for different ways for outreach, I think we always kind of like stick with social media because so many people are on social media, but sometimes old-fashioned things work. So just a heads up.
Okay. So thank you to all the districts that did host meetings last month. It is required for all districts to host a meeting. So thank you all for getting it done. All the districts are good. So that's a first. That's a first. So good job. All right, we'll move on to new business tonight. We finally have some people that finally applied to our vacancy. So I would like to invite those that submitted applications for districts 2, 3, and at large to join us. Madam Vice Chair is going to share this brief update, and then she'll call each of the names that are present, to sit here.
Yes, so I sent out a document to all of the commissioners with all the applicants. If you have the document pulled up, you will now see that there are two names highlighted in red. They are no longer being considered. So I just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of that. Okay, so moving on, we have Anwar Watson applied for the District 2 seat, the one that is 2 years and 1 month remaining, which that 1 month would be December, so it's really 2 years. So you can come up here, and then we have David Cooper applied for an at-large seat with 1 year remaining. And then we have the Gerald Edwards, who applied for the District 2 seat. This is the full 3-year term. And then we have Commissioner Nicosi, almost there, for the District 2 seat, which is also a full term.
All right. First, thank you all for participating in the forum and for your interest joining this great body. So the night is very calm. You know, it's not going to put you in any firing range. Commissioners can ask one question for that will be applicable. Honestly, it's not. It's not competitive anymore. So I guess given that they've submitted responses and things like that, if any of the commissioners have questions that raised any of the candidates, I'll allow that at this time. Any of the commissioners that might have a direct question.
Oh, of course, nothing but Chair. So my question to you all is, what is the heart of why you're here? I pulled up the map of the New York East, so some of you represent different aspects of the neighborhood, have vested interest in the neighborhood. So if you could tell us what that vested interest is, it could literally just be where you live, or it could be something you care about deeply in this neighborhood. That's the question for all.
Go in order.
Okay, you can go right down the line.
All right. Vested interest. So I spent a lot of time.
Please introduce yourself.
Yes. Anwar Watson. I've met several of you, but Anwar Watson. I spent a lot of time in this neighborhood growing up. I started going to Eleanor Ward as a toddler. I went to Franklin Middle School, went to Sunday school across the street here at the Islamic Center. And personally, just seeing tremendous growth in the neighborhood, and coming back here now, it's been 10 years away, coming back and seeing that growth, I want to be part of it. So I made a purposeful choice to move into the district, or move into District 2, so I live right across the street, literally. And so that's my vested interest, just want to be part of the growth and continue to make sure that our new residents, our lifelong residents, are part of that growth.
Thank you. My name is David Cooper, and my vested interests, like my counterpart, is I'm born and raised in this neighborhood. Many times I say to people, in order for me not to get the big heads, I always say I'm David Cooper from Livingston, Oakland. I also work in this. I am Director of Outreach and Community Engagement at Central Community House. I sit on the James Preston Point District Foundation Board. I attend the Thursday noon lunch group every Thursday at the board. My formidable years has been shaped by this neighborhood. So much so that when my kids graduated college or they left home, they're done with college, I left corporate to come work at a nonprofit in the neighborhood that means the most to me.
Thank you. My name is Gerald Edwards for District 2. Same with each gentleman here. I grew up in this neighborhood. Similar to Mr. Watson, I would team over across the street. My vested interest is like Amor said, being part of the growth, but also being having that growth for my children who also I want to leave my house to going to school in this neighborhood. So that's my best thing.
It's a little tough going last. But, you know, I'm now a resident of the Near side for the last 6 years. Being a part of this body for the last year has been a highlight of my month every month. I do think it's different being on the commission side versus like being a community member, but I am without fail inspired by all of you and all that each of you brings to the table. I feel like I learn something new every day that helps me make my community better. A year's not long enough. I would like more time. That's I feel like I'm finally being able to like put what's the saying, rubber to the road or whatever. Like I feel like I'm finally understanding things and how I can contribute more. So I mean, I was not raised here, but my family was. It's so cool to be living where my mom was born. I was baptized and all of that. Like this is a special place with special people, and want to keep contributing this way. Thanks.
Any other questions from commissioners?
I make a statement that I try to make every time is that consider the time commitment and really commit to doing it. Depending on what committee you're on, you're 2 to 3 meetings a month. One of those, if you're on Zoom, is going to be a Saturday only and once a month. So just that's the thing. Like I think we run into people like the idea of doing it, and the time commitment is a real commitment. So that's all I'll say.
Any other questions? I figure I'll try something too.
Do you guys have any questions for us?
I'll jump up there. No, really no questions. I think many of you guys have seen me around. I made sure that this is what I wanted to do. I've been asked to join committees, so on and so forth, but I wanted to make sure that this is what I wanted to do and I could do. So I've definitely considered the time commitment. And I think that you guys have seen me in this community say that he's for real.
Any other questions from? Any question like how much we get paid? Zero.
You already have to-
2,500 divided by however over the years.
Zero. But in all seriousness, thank you all so much for taking time to apply and to express interest in being visible and present too. And I well, I guess depending upon how tonight's votes go, we'll see if you all have to vote. I look forward to serving with you all in some capacity, if it's a commission or a community member. All right, fine tonight's vote go. So I'll take a motion to I'll accept the motion to what's our first one to approve the appointment of Mr. M.R. Watson.
I motion to approve the slate. Chair, I motion to approve the slate of candidates.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Second for us.
Second, all right. Are all those approving in favor of that motion to accept the slate? All right, looks like it's 12-0-0. So congratulations. Mr. White, would you like to share any?
Yes, Dr. Harris, congratulations. I do want to say that we do have to fill out some documentation to submit to the city. I do want to say, I'll send that email out. That's actually, I will need your resume, which I think you have provided some information from there. But one thing I do want to bring up is that this information is public information. We have, so it'll look like your address, your name, an email and phone number. So some commissioners have, decided to create a specific email for the area commission, not use a personal one that you've been using for 20+ years or whatnot, just because sometimes if anything happens, if there's a public request, we'll have to ask them, so that's pull from there. So again, some commissioners have your last name, district, NEAC, District 3, or whatever district you are, and keep on a comma or whatever, and just keep things all separate. So want to make sure, again, I'll send out a template. I'll ask you to verify it. Again, provide an email that you want to use or create one, send that back. I'll get Dr. Harris' signature, and then I'll submit a resume to the council as well as the mayor's office for convert approval. So just keep that in mind. So within the next 30 minutes, we'll send it.
I'll make name tags for each one.
You get a letter. So again, thank you all. So next month, technically, you can join us here. You just won't have any voting privileges until approval from the mayor's office, which should was in January. You're more than welcome to sit with us and to.
The ones that have a good meeting.
Well, yeah, so the 3 years.
Large in the District 2 that are not a full term are able to join in December, whereas the District 2 and the District 3, well, you're already here, but technically that would start in January because it's a full 3 year term.
That's why you have Madam Vice Chair. So that's how that will work. That's it. So you all can keep sitting there if you want. Yeah, you all, we'll take a photo after this. District 4, there's still a vacancy.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you know what at-large seat you're interested in?
So there are a couple, if you want to give them the seat.
Yeah, so there's business, human services, religion, young adult.
Human services may be the right fit.
Yeah, no, that's, what you just said, I would, human services probably fit.
All right. All because of our former lovely chair, by making it any type of at-large. Now 3 at-large human services. So fantastic. So looking forward to seeing
Something else?
It's a really good fit, and I would ask you to talk to our other human services at-large CD commissioner, and you guys would have a great time, I think, because I think your passions are very much aligned.
Capacity for almost 30 years, so.
I mean, I figured, I just wanted to add.
But we do have a District 4 vacancy.
If you know anyone that lives in this neck of the woods with me, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, it's our second largest district, so please, let's get the word out. I've asked Franklin Park as well, but anyone that you might know that lives in District 4 that might have an interest in serving on the commission for a 3-year term, please do. We will reopen up that application tomorrow. And we'll just make another email blast. All right, last thing. Almost 8 o'clock. We're gonna get out of here by 8:05. Right, 8:05, which is pretty good. We had a lot to get through tonight. So the Opportunity Zone asked me to submit a letter of request for a Columbus Partnership Public Policy capital budget request. So they're just trying to get funds in order to help rejuvenate, revitalize that building. So I'm just going to read the letter of support, and if there's any opposition and things like that, please let me know.
Support who?
Of the
what?
1000 Atchison Street.
Of the Abraham Alamayo Legacy Foundation, who are the owners of the Opportunity. There we go. So, dear Review Committee, on behalf of the New York Area Commission, I'm pleased to express our support for the Abraham Alamayo Legacy Foundation's capital request to transform the 52,500 square foot facility at 1000 Atchison Street, known as the Opportunity Zone, into a workforce and innovation campus serving residents of the Near East Side and Greater Franklin County. This project builds on historic legacy of the neighborhood house and represents a vital next chapter in strengthening the social, cultural, and economic fabric of our community. The Opportunity Zone will create new pathways to economic mobility by connecting residents, especially youth and families, to in-demand careers, technical education, and creative development opportunities right in their neighborhood. The initiative's 6 key pillars: the early childhood education, trades and automation, hospitality and events, financial literacy and entrepreneurship, sports and wellness, and music and art reflect a comprehensive approach to community advancement and align closely with the Commission's vision for equitable, sustainable growth in the Near East Side. We will work closely with the foundation in ensuring that they provide a structure that will directly support the needs of the area. By combining workforce development, innovation, and community-centered engagement under one roof, this project offers a model for holistic neighborhood revitalization and long-term prosperity. The Near East Area Commission strongly encourages favorable consideration of this capital funding request for this transformative initiative. Sign share. Are there any comments? This is just a letter of support so that they might be considered to receive capital funding. They haven't been, I asked for a budget of how much we're trying to request. They will send that because that's not at this time. But this is just a letter of support that we are a body that supports them getting some funding in order to bring this site back to life. Any questions? Any questions? All right. So I'll submit the letter as written. I'll also send a copy to you all as well. Other than that, no, because there's a grant season out. Yeah. Okay. All right. At this time, any last final questions, closing thoughts? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
It is approved 12-0. All right, good night, everyone.
I have a weird question for you.
Sure.
Please don't leave. I want to say hello to everybody. Please. Don't run.
Yeah, you can't. We got this. They got
Yeah, no. Like when I say like there are some people out there, it's really great.
You're supposed to be doing a picture. I don't know until people are ready.
I was doing.